There's a strange thing that happens when experts agree on something. The more solid the evidence gets, the more loudly a certain part of the public insists it can't be true. Doctors prove something over and over. Scientists publish thousands of papers. Global organizations issue statement after statement, and still people say, yeah, I don't buy it. Today, we're going through 10 facts that experts are exhausted from repeating. Because the science is clear, the data is overwhelming, and yet almost nobody seems to believe them. Some of these will go against what you've heard from friends, influencers, and maybe even your own family. But if you care about what's actually true, not just what feels true, stay to the end. Let's start with number 10. Number 10, vaccines do not cause autism. Ask any major health organization on Earth, the World Health Organization, the CDC, the American Academy of Pediatrics, and they will all tell you the same thing. Vaccines do not cause autism. Not probably don't. Not we're still looking into it. They have looked hard. A 2014 meta-analysis pulled data from over 1.2 million children and found no association between vaccination and autism, not for the MMR vaccine, not for thimerosal, not for too many vaccines at once. In 2025, a massive Danish study followed more than 1 million children and again found no link between aluminum-containing childhood vaccines and autism or 49 other health conditions. And in 2026, the WHO's Global Advisory Committee on Vaccine Safety reviewed decades of studies from multiple countries and reaffirmed again that there is no causal association between vaccines and autism spectrum disorders. So why do experts still have to say this out loud every year? Because one small, fraudulent paper from the 1990s, later retracted and disowned, planted a seed of fear so powerful that millions of people now trust a long-debunked conspiracy over literally decades of global research. The reality is this: vaccines are one of the biggest reasons child death rates have plummeted worldwide. The diseases they prevent, measles, polio, whooping cough, absolutely do cause brain damage, disability, and death. Experts aren't defending vaccines because they're part of a plot. They're defending them because they've seen what happens to children in places where those vaccines never arrive. Number 9, climate change is real and humans really are the cause. You'd think this one would be settled by now. The planet is warming, glaciers are melting, heat records are broken almost every year. Yet people still say, climate change is just a theory. Scientists don't all agree. It's probably just the sun. Here's what the actual scientific community says. NASA summarizes it bluntly. About 97% of actively publishing climate scientists agree that humans are causing global warming and climate change. Multiple reviews of thousands of peer-reviewed papers find that over 99% of recent climate science literature agrees that human activities, especially burning fossil fuels, are driving the observed warming. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change calls the human role in climate change unequivocal and established fact. National science academies around the world, from the US to Europe to Asia, have issued joint statements saying the same thing. Greenhouse gases from human activities are the primary driver of the observed warming over the last century. So why do experts still have to repeat this? Because doubt is profitable. Industries threatened by climate policy have spent decades funding PR campaigns, think tanks, and cherry-picked experts to make it sound like there's a huge debate when there isn't. There's debate about how bad it will get and what to do about it. But the basic fact that humans are heating the planet is no longer a genuine scientific controversy. The planet doesn't care if you believe in climate change. It cares about physics, and the physics are already happening. Number 8, GMOs on the market are not secretly poisoning you. GMOs are dangerous. Europe banned them. They're full of chemicals that will mutate your DNA. For years, genetically modified foods have been treated like horror movie props. And yet, when global health bodies are asked whether currently approved GM foods are inherently more dangerous than conventional ones, their answer is consistently boring: no. The World Health Organization states it plainly. GM foods currently on the international market have passed safety assessments and are not likely to present risks for human health. No effects on human health have been shown from eating them in the countries where they have been approved. The U.S. National Academies of Sciences have repeatedly reviewed the evidence and reported that foods from genetically engineered crops that have gone through safety review are no more risky than foods from traditional breeding. Do experts say all possible future GMOs are automatically safe? No. They say each product must be evaluated on its traits, not on the method used to create it. But the idea that there is some massive, hidden epidemic of GMO-related illness? Decades in, there is no credible evidence of such a thing in populations that have been eating these foods for years. So why does this myth hang on? Because natural Autism safe and modified Autism evil is a very emotionally satisfying story, even though nature also gave us cyanide, deadly mushrooms, and smallpox. Experts aren't saying, never worry about GMOs. They're saying, worry about what a food does to your body, not the specific technique used to breed it. Number 7, antibiotics do not work on viruses. Flu, virus, most. Colds, virus. COVID, virus. Antibiotics, not for viruses. Doctors and public health agencies have been repeating this for decades, and yet every winter they still face a flood of people demanding antibiotics, just in case. Antibiotics kill bacteria. Viruses are completely different organisms. Taking antibiotics for a viral infection does exactly 3 things. It does not cure your illness. It may give you side effects like diarrhea, nausea, or yeast infections. It helps create antibiotic-resistant bacteria that will be harder to treat later. The World Health Organization lists antibiotic resistance as one of the biggest threats to global health. Misusing antibiotics for viral illnesses for too short a course or just to be safe is a major driver of that problem. Yet many patients still equate good doctor with doctor who gives me antibiotics. So physicians keep having the same exhausting conversation. You have a virus, you need rest, fluids, and time. Antibiotics will not help. The fact isn't complicated. What's complicated is convincing people that doing nothing medically is doing something when that nothing is exactly what their body needs. Number 6, you can't detox your body with a juice cleanse. Every few weeks, a new detox product shows up. Detox teas, detox foot pads, 7-day juice detoxes, liver flush drinks. They all imply the same thing. Your body is full of mysterious toxins, and if you just buy this product, it will flush them out and reset your system. Here's what toxicologists and medical experts keep repeating. You already have a detox system. It's called your liver, your kidneys, your lungs, and your gut. If those organs are working, they are constantly filtering, breaking down, and excreting waste products from your blood. If they're not working, you need a hospital, not a smoothie. Most commercial detoxes never name specific toxins, never show blood tests before and after, and never explain the actual biochemical pathways they supposedly fix. What they usually do is make you eat fewer processed foods for a while, make you drink more water, make you poop more. You feel lighter because you've been mildly starving, mildly dehydrating, or mildly laxativing yourself, not because your body was full of mysterious sludge that only lemon cayenne water could remove. Are there real toxins in the world? Absolutely. Heavy metals, industrial chemicals, certain drugs. But those require real medical interventions and environmental regulations, not a 3-day Instagram cleanse. The major issue is that people who most need legitimate medical care sometimes turn to detoxes instead, convinced they're fixing the problem while the real disease quietly progresses. Number 5, cracking your knuckles does not cause arthritis. Parents, teachers, and random strangers have been scolding knuckle crackers for decades. Stop that! You'll get arthritis! It's bad for your joints! It sounds plausible. The noise is loud. It feels like damage. But joint specialists and large reviews keep saying the same thing. There is no evidence that habitual knuckle cracking causes arthritis. The popping sound comes from gas bubbles rapidly forming and collapsing in the fluid inside your joints, not from bones grinding together. Long-term observational studies comparing inveterate knuckle crackers with people who never crack found no difference in rates of arthritis between them. At worst, extreme cracking might cause mild grip strength changes or soft tissue irritation in some people, but the dramatic "you're destroying your hands" warnings are not backed by data. So why does this myth refuse to die? Because it gives non-crackers an easy moral high ground. Not only is your habit annoying, it's self-destructive. In reality, the only proven harm from knuckle cracking is social. You might annoy the people around you. Your joints, they're fine. Number 4, sugar doesn't make kids hyper. This is one parents swear by. If my kid has sugar, they go wild. Give them cake and they'll bounce off the walls. So researchers tested it. In controlled experiments where some kids were given sugar and others given placebo sweeteners without parents knowing which was which, there was no significant difference in the children's activity levels or behavior. However, when parents believed their child had eaten sugar, they perceived them as more hyperactive, even when the kid had actually eaten the placebo. In other words, expectation changed the parent's perception, not the child's behavior. Where does this sugar high feeling come from then? Context, parties, holidays, and exciting events usually involve sugar and stimulation. Correlation, kids are naturally energetic. You notice it more when treats are involved. Blood sugar swings can make people feel shaky or irritable later, but that's not the cartoon version of hyperactivity. Experts aren't saying unlimited sugar is fine. High sugar intake is linked to obesity, cavities, metabolic disease, and mood swings. But the specific idea that sugar turns children into temporary maniacs? Decades of research say no. This is one of those cases where science keeps quietly correcting a belief, and the belief keeps yelling back, "You must not have met my kid." Number 3, multitasking makes you worse at everything. Everyone likes to brag about multitasking. I can answer emails, sit in a meeting, and text at the same time. I study with TikTok on. It helps me focus. But cognitive psychologists have been repeating this for years. Your brain is terrible at multitasking. What you think of as multitasking is usually just very fast task switching, and your brain pays a penalty every time it switches. Experiments consistently show that when people try to handle multiple demanding tasks at once, they take longer to finish, make more mistakes, remember less of what they did. The more complex the tasks, the worse the performance drop. In some studies, heavy media multitaskers even performed worse on attention and working memory tasks when they weren't multitasking anymore. Almost as if training your brain to constantly switch makes it harder to focus on anything deeply. The illusion is that doing 3 things at once feels productive because your brain is constantly stimulated. But the data says if you had done them one at a time, you'd almost always do them better and faster. Experts keep repeating this, but modern life keeps rewarding the feeling of busyness over the actual quality of what you produce. You're not a computer with parallel processors. You are one processor trying to pretend it's 12 and burning out in the process. Number 2, homeopathy is just water. Homeopathy sounds scientific. It uses words like remedy, potency, and dilution. The pills look like medicine. They're sold in pharmacies. They have Latin names. But when chemists and medical researchers look at high-potency homeopathic remedies, they keep finding the same thing. There is nothing in them. Homeopathy is based on 2 principles. Like cures like, a substance that causes symptoms in a healthy person will cure those symptoms in a sick person. Potentization. Repeatedly diluting a substance in water while shaking it supposedly makes it stronger, even when no molecules of the original substance remain. Many homeopathic remedies are diluted past Avogadro's number, meaning statistically, 0 molecules of the starting material are left in the solution. When tested in rigorous blinded clinical trials against placebo, homeopathic treatments repeatedly fail to show consistent benefits beyond placebo effects. Systematic reviews of homeopathy research have concluded that the quality of positive studies is generally low. The best designed trials show no meaningful effect beyond placebo. There is no plausible mechanism for how these dilutions could work, yet people swear by them. Why? Because placebo effects are real. Belief in ritual can genuinely change how you feel. Many conditions homeopathy is used for are self-limiting. They improve over time anyway. People often use it alongside real medicine and credit the sugar pill. Experts aren't angry that placebos exist. They're angry that, in some cases, people choose sugar pills instead of treatments that actually work, and sometimes die because of it. Number 1, your feelings are real even if others have it. Worse. This last one isn't about vaccines or climate or chemicals. It's about something psychologists and therapists hear so often, they almost know the script. I'm struggling, but other people have it worse, so I shouldn't complain. I'm sad, but nothing that bad happened, so it doesn't count. I'm anxious, but everyone's stressed these days, so I should just suck it up. Experts keep repeating a simple fact that almost nobody believes. Your feelings are valid, even if someone else has it worse. In therapy rooms, clinicians see people minimize their pain so aggressively that they delay seeking help for years, until anxiety, depression, burnout, or trauma symptoms are completely overwhelming. Research on people-pleasing and self-worth shows that constantly dismissing your own experiences, telling yourself you're fine when you're not, erodes self-trust and increases the risk of mental health problems. When you compare your suffering to someone else's, you're doing something your brain was never designed to do. Run morality tests on emotions. If you touch a hot stove, your hand pulling back isn't selfish because somebody else once got trapped in a burning building. Pain is a signal, not a competition. Psychologists aren't saying wallow in self-pity. They're saying, if you are consistently not okay, if your sleep, appetite, mood, or relationships are falling apart, if you've quietly stopped enjoying everything you used to like, that is enough reason to take your own mind seriously. There will always be someone who has it worse. If that disqualifies you from care, then nobody is allowed to heal. Conclusion: why these facts are so hard to believe. So, we just went through 10 facts that experts keep repeating because almost no one believes them. Vaccines don't cause autism and are overwhelmingly safe. Climate change is real and mainly caused by humans. Approved GM foods are not secretly toxic. Antibiotics don't work on viruses. Detox cleanses don't detox you, your organs do. Knuckle cracking doesn't give you arthritis. Sugar doesn't make kids hyper. Multitasking makes you worse at everything. Homeopathy is basically expensive placebo. Your feelings matter even if others have it worse. Why are these such a hard sell? Because human brains don't look for what's true. They look for what feels familiar, simple, emotionally satisfying. Aligned with our group. Vaccines are dangerous feels more dramatic than we studied them for decades, and they're fine. Climate always changes naturally feels more comforting than we are actively altering the physics of the atmosphere. Sugar turns kids into maniacs feels easier than child behavior is complicated. Detox tea fixed me feels better than my body's detox system was already working. And my issues don't count feels safer than admitting you might really need help. Experts aren't always right. Science can be wrong, and it does correct itself. But that's the key difference. Real science changes when the evidence changes. Conspiracy. Theories and internet myths do not. So the next time you hear a claim that everyone knows, ask yourself, who actually studies this for a living? What do they say? Have they been saying the same thing over and over for years while the myth refuses to die? If so, you might be looking at one of these facts, the kind experts are tired of repeating. But that might just save your health, your time, your money, or your sanity if you finally believe it. Thanks for watching. If even one of these went against what you thought was true, hit like, subscribe for more reality check episodes, and tell me in the comments, which fact do you still kind of resist even after hearing the evidence? And why do you think it's so hard to let that old belief go?